Today's topic: flat earthers that believes that satellites are balloons. I found this video at Flat Earth Banjo USA, Japan and Brazil's channel. He haven't made this video, it's from a channel called Robert Bassano, and according to Banjo the channel is deleted. Someone surprised? A conspiracy nutcase gets his videos and channels taken down. Okay, let's start this dumpster fire.
Satellites do exist, okay? But I am of the belief and understanding that there is no possible way that anything weighing over a ton is being put in the nose cone of any rocket. I don't give a shit how powerful the rocket is. I put out videos, explaining to you guys what Don Pettit, NASA astronaut and PhD, who talks about the tyranny of the rocket equation. I put this out, and he explains, I don't explain it to you, but he explains how it is dumb mass, meaning extra weight, material, and scientific instruments literally affects the entire performance of a particular rocket based on the amount of fuel it needs to have on board to do what it needs to do. But there's no way, I don't give a shit what type of physics science that they're engaging in mathematics. There's no way they're sending something up in the sky on a rocket that weighs over a ton and allowing it to maintain its aerodynamic stability and remain control and stay in control, where that rocket is not spinning out of control and basically exploding in the sky.
This is the large military transport aircraft Boeing C-17 Globemaster III, and it can carry the latest version of the Abrams tank, the MA-A2 SEP version 3, and it weighs in on 73.6 tons. But according to flat earth logic, it's impossible to lift a satellite weighing a bit over 1 ton on a rocket when you can fly around the world with an Abrams tank that weighs 73 times what the satellite weighs in his example. Oh dear.
So based on that hypothesis, I'm going to reveal this document to you guys to show you there ain't nothing in the fucking nose cones in those rockets. The entire satellite program worldwide, okay, worldwide is a balloon program, and it's been in existence longer than fucking rockets, period. And I'm going to show that to you. So first document we're going to read, here's the document. Just like I said, it is, the title of it is telling in of itself, Space and Missile Systems Center. So Space and Missile Systems Center. This is an interview with Lieutenant Colonel Harold E. Mitchell for the Corona program. Now, let me dive about the Corona program. The Corona program, okay? The Corona program is still a top secret program.
CIA asked Clinton to declassify it in 1995, and he did declassify this program, Aragon and Lanyard systems.
It was a program launched by the National Reconnaissance Office in conjunction with the CIA. It's equipped with some very advanced optical equipment and photographic equipment to conduct mapping and reconnaissance intelligence gathering capabilities. Okay, so I have that document pulled up here for you guys that we're going to reference. We're going to need that program. So this is a letter actually drafted August 21st, 1964 regarding a Corona mission. Now I need you to understand this. There were several Corona missions.
There were 1 test flight and 8 missions.
So this is the importance behind proving that this satellite was never launched on a rocket. They had several missions. This satellite was put up on a gondola balloon. It did its thing for however many days or months.
It was 1 satellite per mission. The Corona G1 did its thing for 6 years.
And then it was captured by a C-119 multi-engine turboprop U.S. Air Force cargo plane, specially outfitted to capture this thing to capture it using some sort of tailhook type of device, okay?
And if he bothered using Google, he could find a lot of information about it. For instance, here you see the re-entry parameters for the drop of the capsules from the satellites. And let's have a look on a bit of video I found on YouTube on this subject.
An ingenious and rather simple solution emerged. Drop the undeveloped film in a bucket and have an airplane snag it in midair before it's splashed into the sea.
As I said, it's very easy to find a lot of information about this old project.
So I'm not going to read this entire document, but there's specific sections of this document we're going to address. So I can prove to you guys that satellites are not floating around above 100, maybe 100, 200,000 feet. They are literally 10 to maybe 50,000 feet above the altitude where U2 optimal flight range is. So, and I'll show that to you as well. The technical specs for U2, they can go beyond 70,000 feet, okay? Beyond 70,000 feet. That's not their max operating altitude. They can go beyond that, okay? Now, the reason why I chose this document is for one simple reason. Although this activity occurred between 1954 and 1956, and Corona program is 1958 to 1962.
And he don't even manage to understand the document he is looking at. It is this lieutenant that worked in the Corona program between 1958 and 1962. The program ended 1972.
The subject time frame involves about 20 years, 23 years. But look at the date of the interview, people. The date of the interview was October 1st of 2003. Now, what significance does that play? One, to me, it's fairly recent. Even though this is 2016, that's 13 years, okay? This document was recently declassified as an interview, but it's also interesting to note that it was conducted by the Space and Missile Systems Center. So Robert McCulley was of the History Office at the Space and Missile Centers at Los Angeles Air Force Base. So this guy is going to interview Lieutenant Colonel Harold E. Mitchell of Missouri over the telephone about his experiences recovering Corona satellites. All right, I'm going to skip forward because he just talks about the guy's history, where he got his training, how long he's been doing his training. You know, this is just basically, introductory type of, okay, this is who this guy is. I need to know who he is. Now let's get to the meat of what it is he was doing and what his role was in this program. So they talk about what his rank was. This guy was a captain. He was in charge in 1954. He was part of the Dragnet program, also known as the Genetrix program or Weapons System 119L came along. They were flying out of Charleston, South Carolina. That's where they were doing a lot of their training. They were flying a C-119. You saw a brief picture of what that looks like. It says, how did you conduct your training? They talk about how they were conducting their training. Again, a lot of this information, it's not insignificant, but it just adds to the narrative of, is he talking to the right guy? All right. All right. So here's some of the beginning meat of this interview. Macaulay asked Mitchell, Captain Mitchell, did you ever recover the Dragnet training capsules at night? Mitchell says, it's impossible to recover at night. The only time we flew at night was during our instrument training. We didn't fly our emergency training at night either. We did all of our training instrument flying 16 hours a day. We did that because time was of the essence. And if we didn't fly night missions, we'd never get all the training done to get people ready to go into the practice sessions, okay? So let's go ahead in. Now, here's where he describes what the Dragnet gondola looked like. What did a Dragnet gondola look like? Well, we used similar parachutes except the Corona program or Discoverer program only used one chute, okay? We used 4 28-foot parachutes for a Dragnet gondola, and they did all of the chute modification at the parachute shop. They would attach 4 parachutes and these were not reinforced parachutes. They were just to lower the load, the gondola. You'd attach them to the gondola, and then from the middle of this, on a longer tether, you would have a smaller chute that we call the drogue chute. I think the drogue chute was 100 feet above the 4 descent chutes, and the drogue chute was reinforced. We could make our passes on that drogue chute. When they say they can make their passes on that drogue chute, you're looking at a 100-foot tether, and what would happen is that the drogue chute would deploy. You got a 100-foot of tether. The plane didn't need to come within a dangerous distance of the chute as the satellite was falling from the sky, and they'd have a hook at the back of the aircraft that would fly by and hook this chute. And once they hooked it, they start reeling it into the back of the aircraft. Here's some important data. The top of the gondola had a compartment for the chutes and all that stuff. And a lot of it had to be the parachutes, but the whole capsule was 1,450 pounds when it was airlifted, okay? The capsule they're talking about is literally the satellite. The gondola had, now I want you to pay attention to this. He says, this is Mitchell, Captain Mitchell talking. Captain Mitchell says the gondola had a huge balloon. I mean a huge balloon. You could see it at 60,000 to 85,000 feet. Now, this supports what I've been telling all of you, that NASA has had a balloon program literally for decades, over as long as they've been in existence.
The Dragnet Gentrix program was a balloon project. I can't tell if he's dishonest or if he's too stupid to understand this. But it's typical flat earth, mixing up two things and thinks that it proves that something is fake. And Banjo published this rubbish without making any kind of research at all. Banjo claims that he reveals the truth about things, but all he managed to do is spreading lies. As I said many times, all revenues from the channel, ads, memberships, super chats and so on goes to buying drones to Ukraine. But the best way to support this is using PayPal, link in the description. And I have also started to sell my knives, my handmade knives, link in the description, and the revenue for that also goes to buying drones. We have passed 40 drones sent to Ukraine. So thank you very much, everybody helping me, helping Ukraine. I'm still out at work at sea, but will be back sometime next week. So then I will publish more. Have a nice weekend all. See you soon. Bye.